Look, in another world, this was called plagiarism, wasn't it?
I think you might be right, Alan. It's just a pity that it's not being identified as such, or at least identified as unoriginal, when it's taught in some schools. It's a copy of a document, a copy of a few paragraphs from a judgment of an international court. It's not from the heart, it's from the heart of Africa.
Yes. I mean, the passage you say on sovereignty was authored by a gifted jurist from Zaire. So this stuff's been lifted from the 1975 ruling into the 1992 Mabo ruling and now into the Uluru Statement.
Yeah, look, in the Mabo ruling, which is where this all came from, this is how it came into Australian jurisprudence, it's completely attributed, it's not plagiarised, it's used for the power of the idea. But in the Uluru Statement, this is the document that's now being taught in some schools, it's not attributed. It's portrayed as some part of the communique.
So the authors have been airbrushed out of history.
That's it, and it's attributed in effect to those who met at Uluru, 250 Indigenous leaders, I think it was, and that's the attributed authorship that's being taught in Australian schools.
That's called dishonesty.
It's not just not right. It's just not historically correct.
The third paragraph of this Uluru Statement concludes with the assertion that Indigenous sovereignty has never been ceded or extinguished, and this is what Lydia Thorpe's on about, and where it starts describing sovereignty as, quote, a spiritual nation, the ancestral tie between the land or Mother Nature, etc., it contains, does it not, Chris, terms like people who are born therefrom and remain attached thereto. And as the Jesuit priest and lawyer Frank Brennan has said, and our thanks to you for pointing this out to us, quote, not many 21st century Aboriginal Australians use terms like therefrom, thereto and thither. There is the passage which appeared twice in the Mabo judgment about a spiritual notion and, quote, the man who is born therefrom remains attached thereto and must one day return thither to be united with his ancestors. And this link, it goes on, is the basis of the ownership of the soil, or better, of sovereignty. I mean, Chris, this is scandalous stuff, really. I mean, it's not original. It's not related to what was discussed at Uluru. And here it is presented as an original document.
Yeah, look, it's scandalous, I think is the correct word, Alan. If you're going to use these terms, if you're going to draw on international jurisprudence to make your case, it's just good manners to attribute it to the correct authorship. It's just wrong to portray this as something that came out of Indigenous minds.
And just repeating for our viewers, what Chris has pointed out and Frank Brennan has pointed out, that this is from a ruling, this language, word by word, from a ruling of the International Court of Justice concerning the people of Western Sahara, written by a gifted jurist whom Chris names and Frank Brennan names Nicholas Bayona Barmaya. Yet the Uluru Statement produces the entire passage, and as you say, Chris, right down to the colon after the first three words. Yeah. That's called abject dishonesty.
Yeah, look, it's unfortunate for the proponents of the yes case in the coming referendum that this has come to light right in the middle of this campaign, because to my mind, it undermines the origins of this proposal for a voice to Parliament, because that's what the Uluru Statement was all about. It was the voice is where it came from, and this is one of the core components of it.